廣場啦。咁我哋而家響現場咧，就大概係晚上黃昏嘅6:07左右。咁我哋而家見到咧，其實都有唔少嘅市民，不論咧係香港人啦、新疆人啦，同埋西藏人咧，其實而家都係響呢個廣場上面咧係集合。今日咧係10月1號，咁啊陣間咧就會有一個嘅遊行咧，就會由 Piccadilly Circus 遊行到去中國駐英國領事館嘅。咁我哋見到而家響廣場上面啊，見到咧唔少嘅群眾咧係高舉香港獨立嘅旗幟啦，亦都有呢個西藏嘅雪山獅子旗啦，同埋呢一個係維吾爾族新疆人嘅旗幟嘅。咁今日咧亦都係有唔同嘅組織參與今日嘅行動啦，有西藏嘅組織，都有港人嘅組織，亦都有新疆嘅組織。咁我哋響廣場上咧都見到，即係有代表香港2019年雨傘運動嘅其中一個衍生嘅旗幟，就係一個藍白旗，同埋一啲係香港獨立旗啦，或者係港英殖民地時代嘅旗幟嘅。咁啊，咁啱啱咧係一個新疆嘅組織，維吾爾嘅組織咧係唱佢哋嘅歌曲。
Now we're going to do the East Pakistan National Anthem.
咁我哋咧響廣場上咧見到唔少嘅國際嘅社運人士啦，例如係世界維吾爾大會嘅代表，亦都見到咧係有攬炒巴之稱嘅劉祖迪咧係響呢個廣場上面嘅。咁佢哋新疆維吾爾嘅組織咧，而家係展示嘅一啲咧，相信係維吾爾受到響新疆集中營受到即係殘酷對待嘅市民啦，或者係佢哋嘅親屬嘅照片。咁另外咧，響新疆嘅旗幟上面咧，咁我哋都見到咧，其實佢哋嘅數量咧係不比香港獨立嘅旗幟啦，或者係西藏獨立嘅旗幟咧係少嘅。咁響西藏嘅群眾上面咧，其實我哋都見到唔少西藏嘅朋友咧係將佢哋嘅雪山獅子旗咧係掛喺你個身上面，係啦。咁就同我哋即係香港嘅即係示威人士咧，其實係有唔同嘅。即係香港嘅示威人士咧，就係通常咧就中意用一個即係旗杆嘅形式，將香港嘅旗幟咧就高高掛起。咁相反咧，就西藏嘅朋友咧就中意將西藏嘅旗咧係擺喺自己上面。咁我亦都見到咧 而家咧係有群眾咧整咗個好大型嘅示威牌，相信咧起碼有8個人嘅 size 啊。咁啊，上面寫住咧China gave people human rights 嘅意思咧，就係要求中共咧係給予人權咧係呢一個嘅平民嘅。咁而家咧，香港嘅群眾咧就播放《願榮光歸香港》呢一個係2019年衍生嘅香港嘅抗爭嘅歌曲。咁咧唔少嘅香港獨立人士係啊，即係呢一首歌咧係有象徵香港獨立嘅含義嘅。
Our first speaker is a key activist in the Uyghur community. She is UK Director of the World Uyghur Congress and Executive Director of Stop Uyghur Genocide. She's been campaigning for the freedom of her people for years and has been at the centre of campaigns in the UK to secure action on the Uyghur crisis. And her name is Rahima Mahmood.
Hello, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us today. In the 73 years since the Chinese Communist Party took control of our homelands, we have seen the violent occupation of Tibet, the horrors of cultural revolution, the brutal crushing of dissent in Tiananmen Square, the dismantling of Hong Kong's democracy and massacres throughout East Turkestan in Bahrain, Gulja, Urumqi, and the Yarkand, leading to the genocide of my people, the Uyghurs. My people have suffered crackdowns and repression throughout the entirety of the CCP's rule. But for nearly 6 years now, we have been living through our darkest chapter. Our homeland has been converted into a high-tech, open-air prison. Designed by Chen Zhengguo, who imported his tactics of terror directly from Tibet. Women are forcibly sterilized, children taken from their parents. Forced labor programs have torn apart Uyghur society, and up to 3 million of our fellow Uyghurs have now been detained in 21st century concentration camps, where they face food and sleep deprivation, barbaric torture, systematic sexual violence, and even organ harvesting. leaked files have confirmed that this campaign of terror has been directed straight from the top, with Xi Jinping, the orchestrator of a sustained and a ruthless policy of genocide. And now, as I speak, brutal COVID lockdown measures in East Turkestan mean that Uyghurs have been barricaded into their homes for over a month without food. We have seen videos of people being driven to suicide and others speaking of starvation. Once again, we are reminded of the constant danger facing our loved ones back home. But friends, tonight we stand here in resistance. The Chinese Communist Party has been attempting to silence our communities for decades through threats, smear campaigns, and leveraging family members, their lives. The Uyghurs have seen the true face of the Chinese regime's paranoia. Many members of the community here in the UK still suffer harassment from Chinese authorities. But we refuse to be scared into silence. Instead, we have built a strong coalition united in by our common enemy and shared pursuit of justice. We call on the international community to reward our determination and the sacrifices with concrete action. Tonight we protest, march, and shout for those in our homelands that do not have the freedom to do so themselves, however much they try. The Chinese regime cannot extinguish our shared resistance. Thank you.
啱啱響維吾爾嘅代表咧，就啱啱就有一個發言啦，就主要講述咧新疆維吾爾族嘅響新疆嘅情況。
Down, down, CCP! Down, down, Xi Jinping! Down, down, CCP! Okay, next up
咁佢哋啱啱咧嘅發言咧，就主要圍繞係講緊唔少嘅新疆維吾爾族咧，響集中營啦，係被逼強制勞動啦，拎走佢哋嘅器官啦，甚至咧係有一啲嘅其他嘅不人道嘅事件等等。
My name is Catherine, and I'm an independent activist and artist. So basically, today I'm here to share with you what Hong Kong has gone through on recent development, and of course, why we have to be here united together, standing here to voice out on this very important day. I say this is a very important day not because it is the Chinese National Day that we need to celebrate it, but in reverse, we must not celebrate it. We must stand together, creating a stronger voice to speak up, because this is a day where they celebrate the establishment of their country, and we, being the ones who are oppressed, must stand together to voice out, to create a stronger voice. Tibetans, Uyghurs, Hong Kongers, we are all the people who are being oppressed by the CCP. And if we do not voice out on this very important day, it's very hard for us to go on without our stronger, united voice. Last year at this place, we already started marching together with all the three groups together. And this is actually the second year in a row where we will take on the street in large number to voice out to take down the CCP. From last year, I could see that a lot of Hong Kongers have come to the UK, have come to London, and have joined the march to voice out alongside Uyghurs and Tibetans. In the past, from my observation, I was here since 2019, where I went back to Hong Kong for a while, and then I came back again. I could see the growing number of Hong Kongers that are willing to stand together with Tibetans and Uyghurs. it wasn't easy because a lot of Hong Kongers like myself, I would say, I couldn't represent all of the people, but from my point of view, I wasn't very knowledgeable about all the sufferings that were gone through.
曾經穿着香港民主女神嘅服裝嘅模特兒 Catherine 咧，而家就上台發言啦。咁佢表示咧，就佢喺2019年嘅時候咧，喺英國其實係比較少香港人同維吾爾人啦，同埋西藏人咧係一齊行動嘅。咁佢今日咧就認為呢2年啦，越嚟越多香港人咧嚟咗英國，咁啊。佢哋就更加肯同新疆同埋維吾爾同埋呢一個嘅新疆人一齊咧，係團結一齊，響10月1號即係中華人民共和國國慶嘅成立咧，係製咗個更加強大嘅反對聲音啦。
As different organizations, as different grassroots groups, and really communities across UK, not only in London. But a lot of us were scattered in Manchester, Newcastle, Scotland, Birmingham, a lot of places. We're not giving up. We are not hiding our faces. A lot of people are standing up to voice out against the CCP. Tibetans and Uyghurs have done a lot in the past years that we should learn from them how they're campaigning and how they are organizing the advocacy works.
Catherine 啱啱表示咧，就係西藏人同埋維吾爾人咧，喺過去嘅時候咧，就不斷係繼續對抗呢個中共嘅極權。咁佢認為咧，即係香港嘅族群啊，香港人咧，係應該繼續向新疆、維吾爾人同埋西藏咧係學習。
But you can see that people are no longer fearing of speaking up. Say, for example, in the recent protests in Iran, you can see a lot of young ladies. They are taking off their hijab to protest for Masha Amini, the case that she was dead because of the torture by the morality police in Iran. And I think this is very inspiring too, because this is a general trend that the world is happening. That a lot of people are standing up against the tyranny, against the totalitarianism. And if we don't stand up today, it's very hard to carry on in a united manner. And because of this, I would encourage all of you, not only Hong Kongers, Tibetans and Uyghurs, to continue speaking up and to carry on to create a larger voice. And by doing so, I would like to ask you to actually sign our petition, which a group of Hong Kongers have prepared. This would actually be a petition that asks the UK government to review and terminate all sister city agreements between the cities of China and the UK.
Catherine 啱啱表示咧，係佢希望今日參與嘅群眾咧係會去參與呢個解除與中共姊妹城市嘅聯署。咁我哋而家見到咧，藍籌班梁祖迪咧係即係揸住呢個嘅聯署板。
Being the oppressed parties, to tell the world that we need to stop the aggression of this Chinese Communist Party. Together, the voice we create, the more actions we will do, and only more people will stand up to show our faces and to tell the CCP that we are not giving up and we will be more united and we will be the voice of the people of the oppressed only by standing together. Thank you.
一邊表示群眾一齊咧係可以令到中共咧更加知道咧受壓迫嘅人咧係會有反抗嘅聲音嘅。
Huge thank you to all of our speakers today. Many of them are young activists, and all of them that come from communities that are suffering under CCP rule speak out at personal risk and despite intimidation and harassment. And I think it's really important that we recognise and acknowledge that. So thank you so much.
咁集會嘅主持咧就今日就表示今日好多嘅族群咧係企埋一齊，咁就係對抗呢一個極權啦，同埋人權侵犯嘅騷擾嘅。
And he has some messages of solidarity from 2 MPs that he's going to read out.
咁而家係西藏嘅朋友發言。
Thank you everyone for being here with us to show your support and solidarity. And before I start reading the statement of support from MPs, I want to thank the office of Tim Lawton for their continuous support. And Tim has been a staunch supporter of Tibet and the Tibetan people, as well as Uyghurs, Hong Kong, and many other persecuted communities around the world. And I also want to thank Patrick Brady, MP from Scotland, for his message as well. I will now begin by reading Tim's message. Hello, my name is Tim Lawton. I'm the MP for East Worthing and Shore in Sussex. I'm the co-chair of the All-Party Parliamentary Group for Tibet. But most important of all, I'm one of the 7 British parliamentarians who have been sanctioned by the Chinese government, something that we all wear as a badge of honor. Now, I'm sorry I can't be with you at your Resist CCP Day March. I wish everybody there the very best, and we are very supportive of everything you are there to do and all the campaigning that you do, day in and day out. The last year has again been one of wholesale human rights abuses by the Chinese Communist Party government, whether it be the continued abuses of the Tibetan people within Tibet for now more than 62 years and Tibetans throughout the world, whether it be the notorious human rights abuses and what we have defined as genocide against the Uyghur people in Xinjiang, or, of course, the increasing oppression and suppression of freedom-loving people in Hong Kong, many of whom are leaving that part of the world and coming out of China to the UK and other parts of the world to seek the freedom that they have been used to for so many generations. So we will continue to call out China in Parliament, in world assemblies, in parliaments across the world. Parliaments like myself, parliamentarians like myself have joined together through associations like IPAC, Inter-Parliamentary Alliance on China, to make sure that China is firmly on the agenda of governments throughout the world, and those governments take action to make sure that China's abuses inside and outside of China don't go unnoticed, that they are called out and that they have consequences. And that's why in the UK Parliament, we have been bringing in legislation which restricts those tentacles of the Chinese Communist government.
咁啱啱嘅西藏組織代表咧就話，其實喺英國應該有2位嘅國會議員咧係支持。咁佢啱啱咧就係朗讀俾呢各位國會議員嘅對住今日嘅
universities and in our schools. We are going to continue calling them out, and it's really important that the organizations represented here today take that important message out into the communities, out into the country and out into countries around the world to stand up against Chinese oppression. We have seen what happens when the world looks the other way with the recent Russian invasion and brutal violence against the people of Ukraine. And of course, China is looking with even violent eyes at Taiwan as well. And it's really important that first of all, Russia does not get away in Ukraine, which will only give confidence to China to think they could get their way with Taiwan. That's why it's so important that all the Western democracies continue to support Ukrainian people, because the fight is not just for the people of Ukraine, it is for freedom and democracy throughout the world. And we have seen the
咁佢啱啱表示咧就俄烏戰爭啦，佢認為咧即係 俄羅斯入侵烏克蘭咧係會為即係中國咧帶嚟入侵台灣嘅威脅㗎。咁佢認為咧，大家要團結一致咧，支持烏克蘭，為嘅咧唔單止係烏克蘭嘅領土完整等等，更加係自由。佢認為咧，如果大家係可以團結一致咁樣支持烏克蘭去對抗呢個俄羅斯嘅話咧，咁係會係等同係捍衛咧，即係大家響嘅自由同埋人權嘅。咁呢一刻咧，佢哋嘅大會音響咧，已經有啲少少嘅故障。咁而家嘅發言嘅朋友咧，就應該嘗試緊換一個嘅音響裝置咧，去繼續發言。咁喺佢哋陣間嘅發言完咗之後咧，就會帶領群眾啦，一齊遊行到響倫敦嘅中國駐英國領事館。咁我哋見到咧響 Piccadilly Circus 嘅參與人數咧係即係越嚟越多，咁唔少嘅人咧係都有戴上口罩啦，亦都係高舉港英旗啦、光復香港時代革命嘅旗幟啦，或者係即係聲援西藏同埋維吾爾嘅示威牌。
Okay. Technical glitch here. That's why it's so important that all the Western democracy continue to support Ukrainian people, because the fight is not just for the people of Ukraine, it's for freedom and democracy throughout the world. And we have seen the failure of the Chinese government to condemn those blatantly violent actions by the Russians in Ukraine, what their real intentions are. So, the fight goes on. I send our best wishes on behalf of me and all the and all party members and many other parliamentarians throughout Westminster. Our cause is a just one: the freedom and peace-loving people of Tibet, the Uyghurs and Hong Kong will triumph eventually, and we will succeed, and we will carry on the fight. And now I would like to read this short message from Patty Grady, MP for Glasgow North. Freedoms of thought, speech and assembly, including freedom of religions and belief, are fundamental human rights that governments all around the world should protect and uphold. The Tibetan, Uyghur and Hong Kong communities and many other minorities are facing terrible persecutions by the Chinese Communist Party. The international community, including the United Kingdom government, cannot stand by in the face of atrocities. They must stand up for fundamental human rights and not be blinded by economic considerations or priorities. The government of China and the government of the UK must listen to the demands for action being made by today's march and rally in London, and by all those who stand in solidarity with communities persecuted by the Chinese Communists. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarang. And thank you to both of those MPs that sent messages of solidarity today. It means a lot to have support from legislators. China, China, China! China, China, China! Free Hong Kong! Free East Pakistan! Free Tibet! China lies! People die! China lies! China lies! Down, down, CCP! Down, down, CCP! Down, down, CCP! Down, down, CCP! And now on to our final speaker for the evening, who is a committed human rights activist. He works across so many causes, but he's currently CEO of Free Tibet and Tibet Watch, and he's here today as a central advocate in the Tibetan community.
Thank you. Today should be a dark day. Today, October the 1st, is the National Day of the People's Republic of China. Were it a celebration of China, were it a celebration of the Chinese, I'm sure myself and all of us here joining those celebrations, but it is not. Today is a celebration of the Chinese Communist Party's consolidation of power, the creation of their dictatorship in China. Today should be a dark day. Today, the Chinese Communist Party, the organization that has killed the most human beings in history, more than the Nazi Party, more than the Russian Communist Party, celebrates its consolidation of power. Today, the Chinese Communist Party ignores the Uyghur genocide. Today should be a dark day. Today, the Chinese Communist Party ignores its 70 years of occupation and torture in Tibet. Today should be a dark day. Today, the Chinese Communist Party continues its farce of democracy in Hong Kong. Today should be a dark day. Today, the Chinese Party continues its aggression against Taiwan and its thousands of other crimes. Today should be a dark day. But today is not a dark day. Because today, I see the sky blue of the Uyghur flag flying high. I see a flag which has flown in parliaments across the world. It's now a mark of a real democratic parliament that you have condemned the genocide of the Uyghurs. And I am awed by the advocacy that Rahima and the Uyghur people have managed to bring to bear. Today should be a dark day, but it is not, because I see the white and blue flag of a free Hong Kong flying, a flag that flies higher and more brightly every time China tries to stamp on it, every time China tries to ban it, and they have tried so many times. Today I see the inspirational Tibetan flag, the flag that stands for religious freedom, national equality and mutual respect, flying high, shining bright despite 70 years of occupation. Today is not a dark day. Today I see the Taiwanese standing strong. I see the southern Mongolians unbowed. I see millions of Chinese across China willing to resist the Chinese Communist Party. And today is not a dark day. Today I see the light of not only this protest, I see the light of protests in Paris, New Delhi, Taipei, New York, across the whole world, standing up and resisting the Chinese Communist Party. Today, our united resistance inspires hope. Today, our united resistance gives courage. And today, our united resistance shines a light through the Chinese Communist Party's darkness. And today is not a dark day. To the people of China, to everyone living underneath the Chinese Communist Party dictatorship, I say we will not stop until all of you are free from the Chinese Communist Party's oppression. And to all of you today, and to the whole world, I say, free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Hong Kong! Free Hong Kong! Free the Uyghurs! End the CCP! End the CCP! And now Izzy's going to tell you about the march.
咁啱英國嘅一個人權運動家咧係表示咧，今日咧理論上一個非常黑暗嘅日子，咁但係咧今日見到喺全球各地啦都有唔少嘅朋友咧係為咗對抗中共嘅暴政咧而走上街頭咧，咁所以咧其實今日亦都不算是一個即係一個黑暗嘅日子，咁而家將會係。即係大會咧就帶領群眾咧遊行到去倫敦駐中國駐英國嘅領事館。 咁而家咧係唔同嘅遊行人士咧，都係整合緊佢哋嘅步伐啦。咁稍後咧就會由英國嘅攝政大街咧遊行到去呢個中國嘅駐英國領事館。咁我哋睇一睇廣場嘅另一邊咧，其實咧係即係群眾咧係遇上生活嘅。咁有啲人喺度即係休憩啦，亦都有人喺度自拍啦。咁啊，香港嘅組織咧曾經多次響Telegram 嘅頻道啦，係希望咧為今日嘅行動咧係即係籌組呢個義務嘅糾察嘅。咁我哋現場所見咧，其實就唔太過有義務糾察嘅標記，咁所以其實好難區分邊啲係大會嘅糾察啦，邊啲係大會嘅人士或者係一般嘅群眾。喺倫敦現場咧，其實就唔係太見有特別多嘅警力咧，係去維持而家嘅秩序嘅。咁而家咧唔同嘅市民咧，就沿住呢個 Regent Street 攝政大街啦，中文叫翻譯就係咁啊，向呢個中共駐英國領事館咧遊行。咁由於係缺乏警力嘅支援啊，我哋見到其實而家群眾咧同即係馬路嘅其他道路使用者咧，其實都係根據呢個紅綠燈咧係去判斷咧到底幾時行啦，或者幾時唔行嘅。咁現場其實就暫時見唔到呢一啲其他嘅道路使用者同我哋而家嘅遊行群眾咧有任何嘅衝突。咁我哋咧暫時都係繼續見到香港或者係新疆或者係呢一個嘅西藏嘅朋友咧，係繼續係沿住紅綠燈嘅指示咧，係向呢個中國駐英國領事館方向行過去嘅。咁現場即係。 頭先咧，劉祖迪有份發起嘅呢個取消姊妹城市嘅聯署咧，我哋見到呢個簽名版咧喺群眾上面咧係流傳緊嘅，咁亦都見到一啲嘅示威者咧係整咗一個道具，咁應該係就寓意啊喺中國嘅人權狀況問題。咁由於喺 Piccadilly Circus 呢度咧，其實係有一啲嘅交通三角道啊。咁而家咧，因為呢個交通嘅情況咧，其實警察完全係冇一個嘅安排啦。咁而家咧即係今日參與示威嘅朋友咧，就繼續沿住即係根據交通燈嘅指示或者係道路嘅情況咧，就自己判斷。咁暫時就見唔到有任何人車嘅衝突。咁我哋而家都見到咧係有其他嘅示威者咧係拎住一啲嘅示威牌，就講緊咧係原來中共政權係可以因為你眾籌俾一啲嘅年輕人咧去海外讀書咧而拘捕你，亦都咧係有示威牌寫住咧中共會因為你參與和平集會嘅示威咧係將你拉入獄。或者係你喺屋企展示一啲嘅示威旗幟啦，就用呢個藉口咧係將你拘捕嘅。咁呢啲咧就應該係回應翻香港即係呢1-2年自國安法成立以嚟咧發生嘅問題。亦都有話因為你嘅悼念6·4啦，或者係發出一啲同6·4有關嘅文章話啦，或者係轉咗一啲嘅新聞啊而被判入獄嘅。我哋咧其實沿途都見到唔少嘅英國市民啦，係即係冇特別太大嘅反感啦，對今次嘅遊行，咁亦都有唔少嘅朋友咧係拎個手機出嚟咧影相嘅，或者係因為沿途示威隊伍遊行沿途嗌嘅口號啦，而令到一啲並唔係參與遊行示威嘅英國當地人咧係留意佢哋嘅旗幟，或者留意佢哋嘅口號。
加油加油！
CCP, shame on you! CCP! Shame on you! CCP! CCP! China, China, China! Go, go, go! China, China, China! Go, go, go! Free Hong Kong! Stop the genocide! Stop the genocide! Shame on! Shame on! What do you want? What do you want? When do you... Stupid. China! Free to death! Free to death! Shame on! Shame on! China! Shame on! China lie! China lie! China lie! China lie! China lie! China, China, China! China, China, China! China, China, China! China lie! China lie! Down, down! Down, down! CCP! 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 Shame, shame! Shame, shame!
Big son, should I just stop punching them?
Free Hong Kong.
Down, down, CCP! 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 CCP!
Fight for freedom! Fight for freedom! Down, down! Down, down! Shame on! Down, down! Shame on! Shame, shame! Shame, shame! Shame, shame! Lie! China lie! China lie! China lie! Xi Jinping! Xi Jinping! Xi Jinping! Down, down! Down! Down, down! China lie! China lie! China lie!
而家嘅遊行隊伍咧就快將到達呢個中國駐英國領事館，咁但係咧我哋見到龍頭咧而家就停咗響 Oxford Circus 嘅十字路口，咁但係佢哋暫時冇呢個行去，啱啱咧係冇行去呢個倫敦中國領事館嘅意欲。
Hong Kong is not China. Hong Kong is not China. Fight for our freedom. Fight for our freedom. China line.
咁遊行人士而家直情佔據咗往中共駐英國領事館方向嘅其中一條行車線。咁似乎咧係會繼續以一條行車線嘅路線咧係遊行到去領事館嘅。咁現場咧係由頭到尾都只係大概見到幾個警察嘅啫。咁而現場咧係基本上可以話係冇警察去維持遊行嘅秩序。咁但係我哋都見到咧，除咗霸佔一條行車線之外咧，我哋就見唔到有任何嘅衝突啦。咁遊行隊伍咧係中意咗斷龍嘅，咁而家咧係見到一啲嘅示威遊行嘅朋友咧係正等候紅綠燈去過馬路，咁而原先霸佔咗條行車線嘅示威人龍咧都係響度咧中斷咗。咁我哋喺現場見到有人放煙花，但係我哋暫時影唔到放煙花嘅位置。但係我哋頭先聽到明顯係放煙花嘅聲音咧，係放出嚟嘅。
China. Say no to China. Say no to China. China life, people die. Shame on. Shame on China. Shame on. Shame on. Shame on. Hong Kong is not China. Hang on the left. Hang on the left. Go for Hong Kong. Go for Hong Kong. Hang on the left. Fight for freedom. Fight for freedom. Fight for freedom. Shame on China. Shame on. Shame on. Shame on. Shame on. Shame on. Free Tibet, free Tibet, free Hong Kong, free Pakistan, free
遊行嘅隊頭咧，而家係到達咗中共駐英國倫敦領事館。咁我哋現場咧，其實係見唔到有警方嘅防線啦，暫時。咁而家遊行隊伍係正式抵達咗中共駐英國倫敦領事館嘅。咁現場所見呢，其實就只有少數嘅應該係保安人員響現場嘅啫。出啦！喂，到啦，到啦！
Shame on you! 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 Out, out, out! Out, out, out! People die! People die! China, no! China, China, China! China, China, China! China, China, China! Shame on! Shame on! Shame on! China, China, China! China, China, China! China, China, China! CCP! 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 CCP!
咁而家咧，中共領事館咧前面咧係有兩個嘅保安，咁現場咧遊行隊頭咧已經到咗㗎啦。咁啱啱咧有示威者嘗試拆除咧喺入口前面嘅鐵欄，咁啱啱咧領事館都開咗佢嘅門口燈。咁現場咧係大概只有兩至三個嘅保安人員咧響領事館門口嘅啫。咁有 群眾咧係將一個中共嘅國旗咧擺響領事館嘅門口，並且灑上一堆粉末同粒狀嘅物體。咁亦都有群眾咧係響領事館門口咧係舉起光復香港時代革命嘅旗幟。咁亦都頭先有群眾係向領事館門口咧潑一啲嘅液體。我現場所見咧，頭先嗰堆疑為粉狀同埋粒狀嘅物體，應該係一堆蟲嚟嘅。係有群眾認為係糞便同埋蟲嚟嘅。
Okay, we're going to cross over to the other side of the road for some speeches from 3 million speakers.
Come here. Oh shit! Oh my god! Oh shit! Summer. Yeah, Chinese food.
Shame on! Shame on! Shame on! Shame on! Take down the CCP! Hello.
The speakers. Yeah? No? Okay, we're going to cross over to the other side for speakers. If you can...
Because there's more space, basically, if everyone's here, there's going to be worried about people getting so far. So, like, some people can stay here, but, like, if the physical speakers can be moved over the other side.
Free Tibet! Free Uzbekistan! Free Hong Kong! China! 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 Cột咩咧？ 呢邊喎，喺呢邊啊！
Yeah, good to help. CCP! Burning hell! 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 CCP! What did he say? Go to hell! That's what you're gonna burn, man. That's how you're gonna burn.時代革命。
Ladies and gents, you're going to need to go to the side of the road. Ladies and gents, on the side of the road. Please, off the road, please, ladies and gents. Onto the side of the road. Ladies and gents, onto the side of the road, please. Ladies and gents, thank you very much. On the side of the road, just keep off the road for me.
Fight for freedom! Fight for freedom! Fight for freedom! Shame on! Shame on! Shame on! Shame on!
Lovely. Can you go to the side? I don't want you getting knocked down, okay?
Shame on!
or several groups? It's just so we can start a chat, see what the intentions are. Do you know how many people are going to be coming tonight? That's all. That's all.
CCP! CCP! Testing. Hello? Hello?
Shame on! Shame on! Shame on!
Here. Hello? Okay. Here. Down! Shame! Okay, so for the second part of the protest, hello? We're gonna have some more speeches from some brilliant activists. So first up, we have Myra Isa, who is president of the UK Uyghur community, and she's here to share a statement from a coalition of Uyghur groups who are deeply concerned about the COVID situation in the region.
Hi everyone, my name is Myra Isa, and I'm a president of the UK. I speak to you today on behalf of a coalition of UK-based Uyghur advocacy groups to express our shared alarm at the ongoing I speak to you today on behalf of a coalition of Uyghur-based Uyghur advocacy group to express our shared alarm at the ongoing and intensified human rights crisis facing Uyghur people as a result of brutal and inhumane COVID-19 prevention measures. For over 50 days, Uyghurs, people in the region, have been suffering some of the harshest COVID lockdown conditions the world has seen. Over recent weeks, disturbing videos have emerged on social media of Uyghur people barricaded into their homes and jumping out of buildings. Strict sentences have reportedly been handed out to those circulating any evidence of this online. Multiple media outlets, including the New York Times and The Guardian, have now reported on the situation. Reports indicate extremely poor conditions in quarantine facilities, strict censorship, and severe food shortage, which may be leading to starvation amongst the region's population. Having been cut off relatives and loved ones for more than 5 years, Uyghur in diaspora live in a constant state of anxiety of their safety. Recent reports of widespread starvation and even suicide have heightened that fear exponentially. Over 2 million Uyghur people have now been detained in concentration camps. Those that are released will often suffer from severe physical and psychological health conditions. This means the general health of the Uyghur population in the region has already been damaged by ongoing trauma of mass civilians and detention. Uyghur in diaspora fear that widespread starvation will be the final death sentence for a population already struggling to survive under genocidal policies. Today, we call on the international community to meet its responsibilities, condemning this escalating crisis, and take all actions available to protect the Uyghur community from further atrocity. Thank you. Free Turkestan! Free Turkestan! Free Turkestan! Free Turkestan! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Hong Kong! Free Hong Kong! Free Hong Kong! Free Hong Kong! Free South Mongolia! Free South Mongolia! Free South Mongolia! Free South Mongolia!
Thank you, Myra. And we've seen how horrendous COVID lockdown measures have been throughout the region and how they've been used to persecute groups that the Chinese government is suppressing systematically, so it's really important. Thanks, Myra. Our next two speakers come from the Tibetan community. They are siblings, Namgyal and Tashi. Thank you so much.
I want you to reimagine your morning with me. You wake up, look over at your phone, and notice a glaring notification from your health code app. You may not be used to such a term, but Chinese residents will be. It's essentially an extreme version of our NHS COVID tracking app. It states that you have a red health code warning. Essentially, your mandatory COVID test has come back positive. Within hours, you are taken from your home, whisked away on a bus to a quarantine camp. The camp is a rundown school with swarms of other individuals who too have tested positive. The place is overcrowded. Officials are outnumbered, meaning there is little to no one to answer your concerns about hygiene, food, and medical care. You have no idea when you will be able to return home, as you continue to test positive due to the constant influx of COVID patients. This is the general experience of tens of thousands of Tibetans following President Xi Jinping's draconian zero COVID policy. Across our country, those testing positive are being transported by coaches to makeshift quarantine camps in horrific conditions. Taking desperate measures, Tibetans have attempted to draw attention to this issue, which is unsurprisingly not making it to mainstream news. Here is a brief timeline of the rollout of Xi Jinping's policy. China publicly reported the first COVID outbreak in Tibet on the 8th of August this year, with 22 positive cases. Within weeks, almost 4,000 people have reportedly tested positive. Strict government-imposed lockdowns were soon enacted in various areas of Tibet. As of Monday, there are estimated to be over 50,000 people residing in these isolation centres alone. Given the drastic increase in COVID cases and Xi Jinping's zero COVID policy, there has been a very sudden need for quarantine sites where those who have tested positive are to be isolated. The camps are said to be makeshift, unhygienic and poorly maintained, so bad so that for the first time since China occupied Tibet, a state official has commented on a Tibetan issue, as the executive deputy mayor of Lhasa apologised for the conditions at the camp, saying authorities had been unable to meet people's needs due to the size of the camps. Netizens have also not been able to prepare for isolation at home, leaving various people without enough food and supplies. Inside the quarantine camps, there are also reports of food not arriving on time and being spoiled once it does. Officials have also mismanaged actual test results, mixing infected with those who are not, resulting in sickness at every level of society, from police to volunteers. In one social media post, a Tibetan woman said her husband and 3 young children were taken to Lhasa Beijing Middle School Quarantine Centre after her COVID test was inconclusive. The entire family had to quarantine with over 800 other people. The mother said her children developed fevers in the school facility where there were no doctors, medicine or treatments available. In another viral post, a Tibetan father pleads with a government official in a video. He pleads with a government official at one of the Lhasa quarantine centres to not separate him from his 1-year-old child. The family initially tested negative, but were brought to the quarantine camp and now tested positive. In the video, he shouts as officials try to take away his child. He states, "If you separate us from our child, I'm willing to die right here." One has to understand the bravery and desperation that these Tibetans who are appealing to us online must face. Although any critical views of the state are risky in China, Tibetans are monitored more heavily and face harsher repercussions than people elsewhere because of the political sensitivity of the region. Many face imprisonment and torture for trying to speak out and share our nation's issues. Last weekend, some of these social media posts were deleted and an official warning was issued that accounts sharing these posts would be shut down. A young Tibetan woman then went online to Douyin, Chinese TikTok, to tell her followers that she had been receiving threatening calls from the police. She stated in her video, "If I disappear, you know what has happened to me." Therefore, it is important to ensure we outside of Tibet can talk about these issues where we don't face such punishment. In our somewhat pro-free speech nation, going back to the start of the speech, none of us can truly imagine or comprehend what Tibetans inside Tibet are going through. Yes, we had lockdown and were quarantined, but we still had our basic human rights. What makes those in Tibet unworthy of this? 3 years later, when our lives have almost moved on, how can we let our brothers and sisters face this and be silent? I call you all to speak against the Chinese Communist Party violation of human rights, not just in Tibet, across the entire country. Free Tibet! Pugalo!
Just a little. Brothers and sisters, today we filled the grey streets of London with the bright colours of our flags. We drowned out the noise of traffic with our national anthems. and we warmed up this cold city with our love for each other. Hundreds of members of public have seen us, taken our photos and asked us questions. And now, our march has brought us to the enemy. This building behind me represents the Chinese Communist Party. This building has been cursed from the start. It was built with dirty money, money that the CCP stole from us by exploiting the richness of our country's environments. The real powerhouse of China's present prosperity and industrial progress is the mineral resources of its three major colonies: Tibet, East Turkestan, and South Mongolia. In 2007, the CCP surveyed Tibet and found reserves of 30 to 40 million tons of copper, 40 million tons of lead and zinc, and several billion tons of iron ore. The CCP has always seen Tibet as nothing more than a treasure house. Its term for central Tibet, Xizang, literally means this. So we know the CCP won't stop the ecocide in Tibet until every last kilogram is excavated and turned into profit. This Wild West mining rush chews up and spits out villages, water supplies, and ecosystems. A Tibetan believes that Mother Nature is a sacred part of our existence, something to be treated with respect. So our lakes were unpolluted, our grasslands were flourishing, and our mountains were untouched. But in the CCP's latest white paper on Tibet, our sustainable ways of living are ridiculed. Old Tibet is described as extremely underdeveloped, and our ancestors apparently used whatever they could exploit from nature. The CCP believes only in its fantasy of world domination. If it means lying, if it means destroying the homes that we've called homes for thousands of years, they don't care. We must stop the CCP, otherwise the national bird of Tibet will not be the black-necked crane, it will be the construction crane. Thank you. Free Tibet, free Turkestan, free South Mongolia, free Hong Kong.
Thank you so much. Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Hong Kong!
Free Hong Kong!
Free Hong Kong!
Free Hong Kong!
Free East Turkestan!
Free Turkestan!
Free East Turkestan!
Free Turkestan!
China, China, China!
Out, out, out!
China, China, China!
Out, out, out!
Shame on CCP! Shame on!
CCP!
Shame on!
CCP!
Shame on!
CCP!
Down, down!
CCP!
Down, down!
CCP!
Okay, for our final speaker this evening, we have someone from the Hong Kong community, Tom, who's been working with our coalition very closely for about a year now. Test? Yeah. So to hand over to him.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It's an honor to see you all there. As you know, a lot of Hong Kong people were forced to leave Hong Kong due to the persecution by the Chinese Communist Party. The CCP maintains power through depression, through suppression, betrayal, and now the Chinese police has set up their overseas service center in some cities. Even in London, they have their overseas police station. The CCP has persecuted Tibet and East Turkestan. And recently, Hong Kong has lost fundamental freedoms during the last 25 years of occupation by the CCP. The national security laws makes Hong Kong citizens lose their freedom. The Hong Kong citizens no freedoms of speech, no freedom of press and assembly. It's no longer possible to have any assembly or gathering like this one in Hong Kong now. Everyone must obey the government's decisions. People have been convicted just because of publishing a picture book refusing to be injured or just wearing a T-shirt showing the political opinion. Every day, many Hong Kong people are being arrested and convicted. But now we are here in the free country. We will never forget Hong Kong, and we will never give up. The people of Hong Kong who have come to Britain and who continue to come to Britain must unite. We must never give up. We owe our brothers and sisters who are still staying in Hong Kong. They are looking to Hong Kongers abroad and friends, including those here today. Big thank you to all of you for coming here today. But this is not enough. We have many other ways to help Hong Kong and for the people who are suffering by what doing by the CCP. We can unite with other Hong Kong people and the locals in Britain. We should keep forwarding news, and we should keep speaking out on internet. We can also call on people from all over the world to refuse to deal with China, to refuse to make deals with China and resist those CCP's infiltrating powers worldwide. There are many things that we can do. Today we stand here with Uyghurs and Tibetans to tell the world that we have that determination to resist the CCP. We also hope people worldwide will join to fight the CCP together. 跟住落嚟，我想用廣東話同啲香港人講一講。好感謝大家今日親身嚟到呢度，嚟到呢度仲留到堅持到而家呢一刻。我聽過一個講法，講話香港人嘅抗爭季節就係由612開始，去到10月1號今日結束。但我相信大家而家企喺呢一度嘅大家都知道事實並唔係咁樣樣，我哋嘅抗爭並冇結束。雖然喺呢一段時間入邊有唔同嘅日子去令到我哋繼續去記得我哋以前發生過嘅事，但其實即使唔喺呢啲日子裏面，我都見到有好多嘅香港人繼續好努力咁樣樣，去到為住香港去努力。我希望藉住呢個機會可以俾到個信息俾喺香港嘅人知道，喺呢一度仲有好多人繼續好努力緊，有好多人喺度安頓咗之後，我哋亦都不忘去同本地人去傾，亦都越嚟越多嘅香港人組織成立，亦都有唔同地區喺唔同城市嘅地方咧，都成立咗好多唔同嘅香港人組織。希望各位香港人可以繼續去參與同埋支持，甚至去帶起一啲嘅唔同嘅香港人嘅活動。蘇文習武唔單止喺文化教育方面傳承下一代方面，我哋一路有做，而且好多體能鍛鍊啊，喺一啲嘅嗰啲武裝訓練上面，亦都開始有唔同嘅香港人去做，去建立一啲香港人嘅文化力量。我相信呢一個亦都係將來喺當我哋去推翻到中共嘅暴政，去真係光復到香港嘅時候，係相當之重要。作為一個民眾，我哋一定要擁有我哋無論係一啲文化嘅或者經濟嘅實力，我哋都需要去做，亦都武裝嘅力量亦都係非常之重要。希望大家無論喺邊一個方面可以做到去經濟去揾到資源嘅，就去努力去賺錢；喺文化傳承做得到嘅，努力去做文化傳承；而喺體能武裝方面做得到嘅，亦都繼續去做。流亡海外只係一個過程，但我相信我哋嘅個目標一定係要光復香港，而唔係放低咗香港，放棄咗香港人。我哋必須繼續抱住堅定嘅抗爭意志，去為住我哋嘅民族、我哋國家去到解救香港人。佢哋喺等緊我哋，需要我哋嘅力量，我哋唔可以放棄。Every evil empire in history has fallen in the end. So will the CCP. The struggle against the tyranny of the CCP will take a long time, but we will never lose our heart. We will never forget, and we will never forgive, and we will never give up. 光復香港，光復香港 ，Fight for freedom, Fight for freedom. 香港獨立，香港獨立。 Hong Kong independence! Hong Kong independence! Thank you.
We want freedom! 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 We want freedom!
Free Hong Kong!
Free Hong Kong!
Free Hong Kong!
Free Hong Kong!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Tibet!
Free Uyghurs!
Free Uyghurs!
Free Uyghurs!
Free Uyghurs!
Şarkı Türkistan azatlık!
Şarkı Türkistan azatlık!
Şarkı Türkistan azatlık!
Şarkı Türkistan azatlık!
Şarkı Türkistan azatlık! Uygurlara erkinlik!
Uygurlara erkinlik!
Uygurlara erkinlik!
Uygurlara erkinlik!
Uygurlara erkinlik!
Uygurlara erkinlik!
Hak, hukuk, adalet! Uygurlara adalet!
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 Uygurlara erkinlik!
Uygurlara erkinlik!
Uygurlara erkinlik!
Uygurlara erkinlik!
Uygurlara erkinlik!
Uygurlara erkinlik!
Şarkı Türkistan azatlık! Metnimizge azatlık! Metnimizge azatlık! Free Turkestan! Free Turkestan! Free Tibet! Free Tibet! Free Hong Kong! Free Hong Kong! Free Southern Mongolia! Free Southern Mongolia! We want freedom!
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 China, China, China!
Out, out, out!
China, China, China!
Out, out, out!
China, China, China!
Out, out, out! Shame on China! Shame on China! Shame on Xi Jinping! Shame on Xi Jinping! Shame on Xi Jinping! We want freedom! 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 When do we want it? Now! When do we want it? Now! When do we want it? Now!
Okay, so that concludes all of our speakers for this evening. I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody that's come out here. Massive thank you to all of our speakers. It's been brilliant to have young activists, well-seasoned activists, Uyghurs, Tibetan, Hong Kongers, allies. And I also want to thank everybody that's come out, because I know that you take personal risks to come out, show your face and stand in front of this embassy every single time that you do. There's so much bravery and strength in all of your communities, and it's an absolute pleasure to be able to call myself an ally and to be able to work with you. So thank you so, so much. Free Hong Kong! Free Tibet! Free East Turkestan!
Shame on you! Shame on you! When do we want it? Now! When do we want it? Now! What do we want? Freedom! What do we want? Freedom! Shame on you! Shame on CCP! Shame on you! What the hell? Every single one of you! Okay. Shame on you! What's going on in China?
China!